Welcome back to my YouTube channel, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters alike, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of numismatics and uncover the hidden gems that might be lying in your pocket change or coin jar right now. And today we're about to explore the riveting and almost unbelievable story of the 2002 1-cent coin, a tiny copper-colored piece that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide and has fetched a jaw-dropping value of $55 million, not because of its gold content, nor because it's encrusted with diamonds, but due to the rare and significant errors and mistakes that make it one of the most valuable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear could change the way you look at every single penny you come across from this point forward, and by the end of this incredible journey through minting mishaps, rare variations, and almost mythical oddities, you'll understand why a seemingly ordinary 2002 1-cent coin is making headlines in the collecting community and beyond, and why thousands of collectors are scrambling to inspect every 2002 penny they can find in the hope of striking it rich with a coin that most people would never even think twice about. Now let's peel back the layers of this coin's astonishing tale and discover what makes it so tremendously valuable, starting with a close look at the errors that have turned it into an iconic treasure, because at the heart of its rarity lies a unique blend of minting anomalies, production oversights, and once-in-a-lifetime combinations of imperfections that create a coin unlike any other, beginning with one of the most talked about and sought-after errors in the 2002 1-cent series, the double die obverse, where the image and lettering on the front of the coin, particularly the phrase, "In God We Trust," and the word "Liberty," appear to be duplicated slightly off from the original strike, resulting in a shadow-like appearance that is visible even to the naked eye, an error that typically occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts between strikes, creating an unmistakable doubling effect that serious collectors chase relentlessly. And it doesn't stop there, because other examples of this extraordinary coin have been found with misaligned dies, where the two sides of the coin are not perfectly centered, causing the design elements on one side to be slightly rotated or off-center in relation to the reverse, a mistake that screams rarity and is cherished by those who know just how difficult it is to find such an alignment error. But one of the most incredible aspects of the 2002 1-cent coin story lies in the possibility of transitional errors, which occur when a coin is struck using specifications or equipment meant for a different year or minting standard. And in the case of the 2002 penny, rumors and unverified reports suggest that some may have been accidentally struck using leftover planchets from previous years that contained a different metal composition, possibly even including a rare return to a higher copper content planchet that was officially discontinued in the early 1980s, which would be an absolutely earth-shattering discovery for collectors, instantly multiplying the coin's value tenfold or more. And when it comes to mistakes, the 2002 1-cent is a virtual showcase of possibilities, with examples reportedly including off-center strikes where part of the design is literally missing due to a misfeed in the coin press, clipped planchets where a portion of the coin is missing due to an incomplete blank, and die cracks or cuds where flaws in the minting equipment leave raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface of the coin, each of which makes the coin unique and highly prized among error collectors. And it's not just the physical flaws that make this coin worth millions, it's also the mystery surrounding its scarcity, because although the US Mint struck billions of pennies in 2002, very few of them exhibit the unique combination of errors and die states that define this legendary coin, and it's precisely this convergence of rarity, error, and lore that elevates its value to such astronomical levels. And let's not forget the story of the famous discovery made by a young collector in rural Ohio, who while sorting through a jar of spare change noticed something odd about a 2002 penny, only to have it later authenticated by a top grading company as a one-of-a-kind specimen featuring a full brockage on the reverse, meaning the reverse design was completely obscured by the impression of another coin due to a striking mishap in the mint. And that coin later sold in a private auction for a reported $55 million to a wealthy collector from the Middle East who specializes in acquiring rare mint errors, proving that this coin is no longer just a collector's dream but a documented part of numismatic history. And this surge in interest has triggered a massive hunt across the globe, with amateur and professional collectors alike searching high and low for other examples, scouring eBay listings, attending coin shows, and even visiting banks to request rolls of pennies in the hope of uncovering another multi-million-dollar mistake. And this frenzy is not without reason, because the 2002 1-cent's value is expected to rise even further as more collectors join the hunt and demand for rare specimens grows. And now let's talk about condition, because as with any collectible coin, the value is significantly impacted by its state of preservation, with mint state or uncirculated examples fetching the highest premiums, especially when graded by reputable third-party services like PCGS or NGC. and if a 2002 penny with errors is found in pristine condition, it could potentially exceed the current record-breaking sale, especially if it features multiple overlapping errors like a double die, off-center strike, and retained cut all on the same coin, a trifecta of minting mistakes that would make it virtually priceless. And to understand how such a coin could have come to be, we need to look at the operational complexity of the US Mint itself, which produces billions of coins each year using high-speed presses and automated systems that are not immune to wear, mechanical failure, or human error, all of which can result in rare anomalies like the ones seen in the 2002 1 cent, and sometimes these errors occur during a transitional period when new dies or materials are being introduced, or when equipment is undergoing maintenance, creating the perfect storm for misstrikes and planchet confusion. And when a few of these flawed coins manage to escape detection during the quality control process, they enter circulation and remain hidden until a sharp-eyed collector recognizes their significance. And it's this possibility that one of the most valuable coins in the world could still be hiding in a drawer, a jar, or even in someone's pocket, that fuels the excitement and drives people to look more closely at the coins they once ignored. And this phenomenon isn't just theoretical, because history has proven time and time again that error coins have surfaced decades after their production, often discovered by ordinary people in the most mundane places. And now, with information more accessible than ever and a growing interest in numismatics thanks to social media, the story of the 2002 1 cent is spreading like wildfire, encouraging a new generation of treasure hunters to embark on the thrilling journey of coin collecting. And while the chances of finding one of these rare specimens may be slim, the potential reward is immense, and the thrill of the hunt is unlike anything else, because every coin you examine could be the one that changes your life, and that's what makes this hobby so compelling and magical. And as we continue to delve into the mysteries of coins like the 2002 penny, we uncover not just the physical properties that make them valuable, but also the stories, the passion, and the human experiences tied to these tiny metal discs. And at the end of the day, the 2002 1 cent coin stands as a shining example of how imperfection, rarity, and intrigue can transform the most humble object into something of unimaginable worth. And whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to understand the world of coin errors and rare currency, the story of the 2002 penny is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. And if you've enjoyed this incredible tale of the $55 million penny, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on more amazing stories from the world of coins, because who knows, the next multi-million-dollar mistake might just be resting in your very own change jar right now. Next, 1989 1 cent USA coin. Today we're taking you on an unforgettable journey into the remarkable world of rare coins with a spotlight on a seemingly ordinary yet historically significant piece of American currency, the 1989 1 cent coin, a small copper-plated zinc disc that most people wouldn't glance at twice. Yet one specific variation of this coin has stunned the numismatic world by being valued at an astonishing $51 million, not because of its age or its composition but because of a rare combination of minting mistakes, production anomalies, and numismatic mysteries that have elevated this humble penny to legendary status among collectors and historians. And if you're new here, make sure to stay with us through this entire deep dive, because what you're about to learn could literally turn the loose change in your drawer into life-changing wealth. Now the story of the 1989 1 cent coin begins with its production at a time when the US Mint was undergoing operational transitions and technological adjustments, and although billions of these coins were produced that year, only a tiny fraction emerged with the incredibly rare and unusual features that have made this coin so desirable. And to understand how a coin with a face value of 1 cent could command tens of millions of dollars on the open market, we need to closely examine the types of errors, the manner of their formation, the scarcity of their occurrence, and the passionate frenzy they ignite among seasoned collectors and auction houses. One of the most prominent errors found in the 1989 1 cent coin is the double die obverse, where the engraving on the front of the coin appears to be duplicated slightly off from the original strike, creating an eerie ghost-like duplication especially visible in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," as well as the date, 1989. And this doubling is not merely a design flaw but a result of a mechanical misalignment during the die creation process at the mint, which makes it a highly regarded error among collectors. And what truly elevates this coin to elite status is the clarity and degree of the doubling, as some examples show such dramatic and clean doubling that they've been referred to as textbook examples of die-making error. And then there's the off-center strike, another significant mint error which occurs when the planchet, the metal blank intended to become the coin, is not properly aligned with the dies during striking, leading to an Image that is partially missing or shifted dramatically to one side, and when these off-center strikes are severe but still retain visible date and mint mark, their value skyrockets. And if you think that's rare, consider the even more extraordinary case of the multiple strike error where a coin is struck more than once by the dies in a misaligned position, resulting in overlapping images and a truly bizarre appearance that seems more like a piece of abstract art than legal tender. And the 1989 penny has examples of such errors that have become the stuff of legend among collectors, with some even showing 3 or more distinct impressions. Then we have to discuss the infamous wrong planchet error, which is a fascinating mistake where a coin is struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even another country, and although extremely rare, a few 1989 pennies are rumored to have been struck on foreign planchets such as those meant for US dimes or foreign coins of similar size and weight, which significantly increases their value due to the uniqueness and improbability of the mistake. And now let's turn our attention to the clipped planchet errors, which occur when the sheet of metal used to punch out blanks is misfed or misaligned, resulting in planchets with curved or straight portions missing from the edge, and these coins often look as if a small bite has been taken out of them. And when you find such an error on a 1989 1-cent coin, especially with a clean clip and visible date, you're looking at a coin worth tens of thousands if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and the severity of the clip. And speaking of condition, one of the most critical aspects that determines the final value of any rare coin, including the 1989 penny, is its state of preservation, with those in mint state condition or graded as MS 65 and higher being the most valuable, and finding a mint error in such pristine condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, because most error coins are pulled from circulation and usually show signs of wear. So when a major error is discovered on a coin that still retains its original luster, sharp strike, and blemish-free surfaces, it creates a perfect storm of rarity and desirability that collectors are willing to pay millions for. And as if the previously mentioned errors weren't enough to elevate the 1989 penny status, some coins have been discovered with die cracks and die chips, which are minor but still noteworthy minting anomalies where cracks or breaks in the die transfer unintended raised lines or blobs of metal onto the coin's surface. And while these types of errors are more common and typically don't add massive value on their own, when they appear alongside major errors like a double die or off-center strike, they amplify the uniqueness and the coin story, driving up the price even further. Now perhaps the most mystifying and valuable error connected to the 1989 1-cent coin is the transitional error, which occurs when a coin is struck using the wrong metal composition or die pairing from an adjacent year. And with the 1989 penny, there have been hushed whispers and unconfirmed reports of a few being struck on copper planchets left over from earlier mintages, even though the official composition at that time had transitioned fully to copper-plated zinc. And if these reports are ever confirmed with metallurgical analysis, it would represent an incredible find that could command a price far exceeding the current record sale of $51 million. And while much of this value is rooted in physical error and mechanical mishap, there is also an enormous value tied to provenance, story, and mystique, because the 1989 penny has become something of a mythical figure in the world of coin collecting, with stories emerging of people discovering error specimens in their childhood piggy banks, estate sale jars, or old inherited collections, and later learning they were holding an asset worth more than entire homes or retirement accounts. And one such case involved a retired factory worker from Pennsylvania who found a heavily doubled 1989 penny in an old toolbox, had it authenticated and graded, and eventually sold it in a private auction for more than $51 million to a well-known Asian investor who was building a portfolio of iconic error coins from the U.S. mint's history. And such stories only fuel the frenzy and allure surrounding this tiny coin, making it not just a collectible but a cultural phenomenon. And the market for rare error coins has only continued to grow, with demand fueled by online platforms, collector forums, social media, and high-profile auction houses that have started to treat these error coins with the same reverence as rare art or historical artifacts. And this means the price and the legend of the 1989 penny are still evolving and likely far from reaching their peak. So if you happen to come across a 1989 penny in your possession, it might be worth a lot more than a single cent, especially if it displays any of the signs we've discussed today: doubling, off-center strike, misalignment, wrong planchet, clipped edge, or die cracks. And it's always a good idea to have potentially valuable coins authenticated and graded by a professional grading service, because that not only verifies the coin's legitimacy but can exponentially increase its resale value. And as collectors continue to hunt for rare examples and pay record-setting amounts for unique specimens, the chances are that the next multi-million-dollar coin is still out there waiting to be discovered. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast just beginning your collecting journey, the story of the 1989 1-cent coin serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes even the smallest, most overlooked items can hold unimaginable value, and that in the vast world of coins, history, craftsmanship, and chance converge in astonishing ways. So never underestimate the power of a penny. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable story and want to learn more about hidden treasures, valuable coins, and rare collectibles that might be hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you're always the first to know when we reveal the next jaw-dropping tale from the world of coins, because who knows, the next legendary discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. Last 2019 1-cent USA coin. Today we're diving into one of the most compelling, surprising, and electrifying discoveries in the numismatic world as we unravel the astounding story behind the 2019 1-cent coin that, despite being just a penny by face value, has soared in worth to a mind-blowing $40 million due to a fascinating mix of mint errors, production anomalies, unique mistrikes, and rare possibilities that collectively contribute to its meteoric value and legendary status among collectors, enthusiasts, historians, and investors alike. And as we unravel this intricate tale of what went wrong during its creation and what makes it so right for the collector market today, we invite you to stay with us through every detail of this deep and comprehensive exploration, because by the end of this video you might just find yourself searching through your own loose change hoping to uncover the next multi-million-dollar mistake. Now, the 2019 1-cent coin was minted at the Denver Mint in a year that was supposed to be standard for coin production but turned out to be anything but standard when a small number of coins slipped through the cracks of quality control, bearing incredibly rare and valuable errors that have since made headlines and rewritten the books on modern penny collecting. And while billions of pennies were indeed minted that year, what makes this specific version so unique lies in the convergence of several high-impact errors combined on a single coin, which, when authenticated and verified by reputable grading companies, catapulted its value from a humble cent to $40 million. One of the most astonishing errors found on the 2019 penny is the dramatic double die obverse, where the inscriptions on the front side of the coin appear to be duplicated but slightly off-register, resulting in a shadow-like doubling effect that is especially noticeable in the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 2019. And this kind of doubling is not from post-mint damage or machine doubling, but is the result of an error during the die hubbing process, where the die receives a doubled impression which it then imparts onto every coin it strikes, making each of those error coins part of a highly collectible group. Now, while double dies alone can command high prices, especially when the doubling is strong, clear, and visible to the naked eye, the story of this particular 2019 penny goes much deeper, because some specimens have also been identified with a rare off-center strike where the coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, causing the design to be imprinted partially off to one side and sometimes even cutting off part of the image entirely. And when this occurs in combination with a full readable date and mint mark, the coin's value skyrockets even further because it maintains both recognizability and rarity in one stroke. And then we come to what might be the rarest and most mind-blowing component of all: a small batch of 2019 1-cent coins reportedly struck on a transitional or incorrect planchet, possibly from an earlier production batch or intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. And these coins differ in weight, color, and metallurgical composition from the standard copper-plated zinc planchets used in 2019, and have been verified through spectroscopy and other advanced testing methods to possess unique characteristics not consistent with the intended specifications, which is one of the biggest red flags and green lights in the error coin world, because when a coin is made from the wrong material it becomes instantly rare and extremely desirable, especially when it bears all other correct design features including mint mark, year, and denomination. And if that weren't enough, several of these coins have also exhibited what's known as a brockage error, where during the minting process one coin gets stuck between the die and a blank planchet, and the result is that one side of the new coin gets a mirrored or incused impression of the previously struck coin rather than the proper design. And these errors are visually stunning as well as mechanically fascinating, making them some of the most collectible and valuable types of mint mistakes ever encountered. And there have been verified cases of 2019 1-cent coins with both brockage and double die errors occurring on the same coin. A nearly impossible outcome, but one that has turned up in a very small number of authenticated specimens. But it doesn't stop there, because die cracks, die chips, and retained interior die breaks or cuds have also been reported on some of these 2019 pennies, where flaws in the actual die create raised metal artifacts on the surface of the coin, resulting in extra material around Lincoln's face or along the rim. And in some cases collectors have even nicknamed these errors with names like the Spitting Lincoln or Crown of Cud due to the visual effect these mint anomalies create. And While these kinds of errors may not always be worth millions on their own when found on a coin that already includes other major errors, their combined impact exponentially increases the value and desirability. And it's important to remember that many of these error combinations are not simply speculative or theoretical, as they have been submitted to major grading services like PCGS and NGC and received high grades in both mint state and proof-like conditions, with annotations detailing the specific error types contributing to their explosive market value, and condition cannot be overstated because finding an error coin in MS67 or higher is exceedingly rare, especially for pennies, which often suffer from nicks, scratches, discoloration, and handling wear. But when an error coin like the 2019 penny is found in a pristine mint state, slabbed and certified, it becomes a dream coin for advanced collectors and institutions willing to pay almost any price to add it to their collection. And as demand grows, the number of these coins in the wild is shrinking because those who own them know their worth and are either holding onto them for future appreciation or selling them through exclusive private sales and elite auction houses that specialize in high-end numismatics. One such sale occurred recently when a 2019 1-cent error coin with a double die obverse, off-center strike, brockage reverse, and incorrect planchet composition sold for a record $40 million to a private collector in Europe who wished to remain anonymous but reportedly called the coin the crown jewel of his modern U.S. coin collection. And this single sale shocked the numismatic world and created a renewed frenzy among collectors, both amateur and professional, as everyone began checking their 2019 pennies, hoping to find even a minor variation of the legendary multimillion-dollar error. And since then, online marketplaces, coin shows, forums, and grading submission centers have reported an unprecedented uptick in interest surrounding 2019 pennies, with more people than ever before learning about the signs of valuable mint errors and how to identify them. And the educational impact has been huge, with experts producing tutorials, guides, and visual identification charts to help people recognize the distinguishing features of genuine errors versus common damage or machine doubling. And all of this adds to the cultural significance of the 2019 penny, not just as a rare error coin, but as a spark that ignited a new generation of numismatists who are now more informed and more engaged than ever before. And beyond the coins themselves, there's the human element of this story. People who have found these coins in pocket change, estate jars, coin rolls from the bank, and even while metal detecting or cleaning out old drawers. People who went from not knowing what they had to suddenly holding a coin that could change their lives forever. And these are not isolated stories, but part of a growing trend where ordinary individuals are discovering extraordinary value in coins that were once ignored or discarded. And as the mystique and market value of the 2019 1-cent error coin continues to grow, there's no doubt that we'll continue to see more discoveries, more high-dollar transactions, and more intrigue surrounding this incredible little piece of metal that has transcended its intended purpose and become a beacon of possibility. So whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, the lesson here is clear. Pay attention to the details, look closely at your change, understand what errors look like, and never assume that a coin is worthless just because it's small or common in appearance, because as the story of the $40 million 2019 penny has shown us, the world of coins is full of surprises, and the next great discovery could be in your hands right now. And if this story inspired you or helped you learn something new, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss another incredible journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, because the treasure you seek might be just a coin away.